Hey YouTube, how's it going? Lawler here, and yes, it is an interesting one today. If you guys haven't seen the news, we're gonna kind of rip off the band-aid right away. We have announced a team that I will be coaching for LCQs in the RLCS. It is Calm, 5UP, and Talk. We are going to be trying our best to see if we can make a run to the World Championship. And a lot of people have had some questions. We put out a post, actually, kind of asking you guys as well what you wanted to know. We're also hanging out with chat here, and they've had some questions as well. So we're going to kind of talk about the situation. We're going to provide some insights. We're going to kind of address the whole thing and discuss how things came to be, why, experiences, all that kind of stuff. And if you guys do have additional questions after, let me know in the comments. I'll try to do my best to get you replies with that. So we're going to start kind of one with the most overarching and kind of some backstory of how this came to be. It's one of the major questions. They said, how long have you been planning this one? How did it come to be? And depending on the outcome, do you plan to run it back in 2026 for the next season? So long story short, I have been working on a bigger project over the last probably year, I would say, with intentions to try to scout and build a team and do something to that degree. My involvement initially wasn't as a coach. It was more so from a corporate kind of standpoint and an overarching position and more of an operations type position. But with that comes understanding the game, knowing the players that you want to put together. And the original duo was not what we had. And I don't need to go into the full details of how that all came to be, but there was two players that I saw that I was like, hey, these two players have a ton of potential. I think the current rosters they're on doesn't really make sense, but because they're locked or they're under contract or whatever that may be, it wasn't something I could necessarily approach or something that I could do. So I had to kind of buy time or kind of put other things in place before I could make an approach and do things professionally. You know, you're not trying to poach a player while they're in the process of currently acting on their team. You don't want to add distractions. It's disrespectful to everybody involved. So had to kind of wait to see how things played out. During that time, I've kind of scouted and watched their play style and kind of made my assessments of which players I think would fit what I want to do with the team, and indirectly kind of ended up having things work out to where we ended up doing one of our first scrims. And with the trio that we were going with at that current time, it was just like I knew within the first time, even though like at that point, I think Calm was on like 16 hours past 2. It was the first time he was like getting back into the flow. I knew instantly. I'm like, this is it. Like, this is exactly what we're looking for. This is what I want. This is amazing. So initially it came from me trying to scout the team and trying to put a team together for a bigger project. And that then led into me really enjoying working with the guys and talking with them and getting to know them on a more personal level. I've known Calm for a really long time. 5UP obviously did the Apex with us, and Talk, I mean, I've done their team streams from in the past, but outside of that, it was never kind of on that personal level. But from getting to talk and discuss and interact, it's something that you just go, hey, I've got a really good feeling about this, and decided to kind of commit to what it is that was the team. So various tryouts, trying to find the players, trying to find out who's going where, what the situation is. And we eventually did, after probably about like 2 or 3 months of tryouts and coaching and practice and all that kind of stuff, we came to the answer that is the 3 that we have now under the name Carl, C-A-R-L. Spoilers, it's the first initial of all of our names. In something, it was either between Carl or Fact. Carl's Jr., if you guys want to pick us up, sponsor us. It'd be great. Same thing for any orgs that happen to be watching this. If you guys want to pick up a team, we are definitely looking. Reach out to myself. Shoot me an email. We're open to all inquiries and going from there. Obviously, we can provide results, scrims, all that kind of stuff. We've got months of it. So pretty cool stuff there. The plan on this, I think, mostly formulated in December and then started to build from there. So it's been a long process for me in particular, but actual scrims, tryouts, and stuff has been going on for about 2 to 3 months. Do you plan to run it back next season? Yeah, anytime I commit to something like this, it's a long-term plan. At the end of the day, like, LCQs are brutal. It is a one and done. Either you win the event or you don't. But the feeling I have around our core duo and like what we're doing in the captain and stuff like that, like, I'm sorry, but the guys are good. The guys really understand how to play this game fundamentally, and then you pair that with mechanics and stuff, and something to be very confident in. I while thinking about coaching other teams, I told the team right away, like, hey, if I'm going to coach a team, I don't want to waste my time with others that I know are just going to lose to you. So I'm cutting out any other options for myself. This is what I'm dedicating to. And if you pick me, and that's something that a lot of people don't know, is I tried out as a coach. I did not just get the spot. That's another follow-up question. Did they reach out to me? Did I reach out to them? I tried to put it together and then said, hey, I would like to coach. Let me try out for a coaching position. So it was between me and a couple others. They ended up picking me over those other ones, to which I'm very thankful. I'm glad they believe in me, what I have to say, and what we're doing. We'll talk about that more in detail. So yeah, it's been a long process. Full intentions of committing and growing and building with the team. That kind of falls into the next question. I'd love to know what you do behind the scenes. Did you approach them or did they approach you? How would you describe your coaching style? What's a typical session look like? As I said, it was me who kind of tried to put together the core duo and then find the right third. We found the right third immediately in Calm and then kind of built from there. I approached them, basically expressed interest of wanting to coach, and then tried out against other coaches who were also coaching them at the same time, and then earned the spot. I would say my style and my like ideology or my philosophy of being a coach is, it is my job to make them feel as confident and as well prepared as possible going into a series. I think in a game of Rocket League that is very reactionary, there is no one size fits all. So if you can focus on playing the right way, fundamentally having the critical skills, so when those situations do apply, you can critically think and make the right decision. Our job is to make sure that we put you in those positions to be successful. And that's going to change based on every player's strengths and weaknesses. My true job as a coach is to understand fundamentally what it is you do really, really well and make sure we put you in that circumstance as much as possible and take away times you find yourself in situations you're very, very uncomfortable, where you are weak in those things, while slowly trying to reduce those weaknesses and everything else. That can be both in the game and out of game, whether it be communication, whether it be mechanics, whether it be, there's a lot of different ways to do that. As a overall philosophy, my job as a coach is to make sure that my players feel as comfortable, as confident, and as well prepared as possible, and finding ways to bring out their strengths and reduce their weaknesses. That is a very oversimplification of what we do, but that is the way that I approach it. What is my coaching experience? People forget, a long time ago, I used to be a very high-level player in Rocket League. At one point, I was like top 15 in 1v1s. I also played for a competitive team in NA back when like MLG weeklies were going on every Sunday for $50 a tournament. We were a top 10 power ranked team, top 12 more consistently. We almost always found ourselves in the quarterfinals playing like a Take 2 or like a Plutonium Falcon or a Air Force 2 type team, VQ and Tethered, like all those OGs. Every once in a while, iBuyPower Cosmic or Cosmic Aftershock back then. So I did play competitively, but then realized I'm old and casting was going to allow me to get to every LAN versus having to compete for it and trying to stay up. So a lot of cool things in that regard. I have helped build World Championship caliber teams in the past for Envy, for OG, for a bunch of others. I have also coached other teams that people don't know about. Originally helped out with the Alpine or Torrent roster at one point, and then they ultimately ended up going with Mystic, who I think was a great fit for them. Helped Renegades with CJ and stuff at one point, but then their organization and staffing had a falling out, and I didn't want to sign a contract with an org that people didn't trust. So credit to CJ and those guys for really running through with it. We did the Super Oli roster, but I've mostly worked with organizations and helped scout and build teams versus actually being the one to physically coach. Like, I have the vision, I know what I need to find based upon players and put them into a system, but I haven't to the fullest extent gotten to say, hey, let me exert myself on a day-to-day and build towards a long-term plan. It's been, I know that player, and that player all good together if you do this thing, and then they do that thing. And all those teams have gone on to win multiple or compete at multiple majors or regionals or otherwise. Obviously, without tampering too much, I helped V1 a little bit, not to the degree that people know. and we don't need to go into the details of that, but people forget I've been covering this game for 10 years. I've watched a lot of Rocket League, both firsthand and secondhand. I've got to know a lot of these people personally. There was a lot more to Rocket League other than just watch me hit Mechie flip reset. There is the interpersonal communication. There is the dynamics and the chemistry, which I think is even more important nowadays because everybody's so dang good. It is an ever-evolving process. There is no one-size-fits-all. Every coach is different, to which I recommend, and just as a blanket statement, outside of the people on the team, no one truly knows what's going on within that team. Just like how nobody knows what's going on with myself, 5UP, Talk, and Calm. Outside of us four, nobody knows. So it is difficult. You can make your assumptions, you can make your assessments, but genuinely, people don't know. Just like it's tough for me to criticize another coach for being like, hey, you don't do this, you don't do that, why are you doing this? I don't know what's going on internally. So it's unfair for me to criticize and judge when we truly don't know. So again, talk, discuss, theory craft, 100%, but people don't know what's going on. People are going to make their assumptions. We're going to focus on us and do our best to move forward, which I think leads into another good question. Where's everyone's headspace at? How's the mental, especially after people took a bit of a break during the split? I think it's great. Objectively, and I know I'm biased here, I think Calm looks the best he's ever looked. I think the dude is so smart and so communicative. Such a good level head. He looks better than he ever has. He truly and genuinely just doesn't make mistakes. His touches are super clean, and he's only going to get better when his hours keep going up. He is a complete player, and I don't think he gets the respect he does. I think 5UP is objectively one of the most underrated players in all of North America. I think he's so dang good, and people don't understand why or how. Lucky for me, because that means we get to use him and they don't. And then for Talk, you guys know he's the most hot commodity in North America. He's the up-and-comer. He's got all the talent in the world. We just got to find a way to use that the right way. So, yeah, it's a very talented crew paired with a really good veteran leader that's been there for a long time. It's exciting. It's really, really exciting. There's so much potential in this team, and we're just getting started. So I think everybody's headspace is in a really good place. I think it was very much so needed from Calm to take a step back, reassess what was his priorities in life. It also showed him that there is certain things that he needed to do outside of Rocket League to really make him a better Rocket League player. So there's a lot of really cool stuff. But I think the break was necessary for a lot of the people that took it, and it allows them to come back fresh and level-headed and looks better than he ever has, in my professional opinion. Have you had scrims yet? If so, how have they gone? And do you think top 8 LCQ is possible? As I mentioned earlier, yes, we've been scrimming for multiple months. Part of that is trying out and trying to find what third or what roster iteration we want. Part of that was also me trying out as a coach and trying to lock in as the coach for the team. It is a lot of mixed bags of who we play. I can tell you guys, we warmed up pretty much every single team at the major. We were basically everybody's warm-up scrim, whether it be Twisted Minds, Vitality, Falcons, NRG, Secret. Yeah, I mean, you name it. We played pretty much everyone. The only team I think we didn't play was Dignitas. I think we warmed up just about everybody else. Scrims were good, competitive. This is just what people have told me, not from things that I have heard myself directly. Apparently, Vatira was hyping us up at LAN. He was talking publicly to other people about, hey, warm-ups, like, they were competitive. They kept us honest. So getting praise from that, like, again, it's tough. You're in a bubble, and I'm not beyond myself. We still have a lot to improve. There's still a lot of things that we can do better, but what I say, I'm confident 100%. I fully believe in this team. I think there's a lot of things that we do very, very well that are going to surprise a lot of people. Obviously, that comes with a bias, but yeah, the results are there. I think any team that goes through scrims goes, how are we performing? Are we confident in this? Does it feel right? Are the results there? And if so, then they lock. And that applies to every team, even the teams that you guys may not rate highly, the top 16s, the top 32s. Those players try out, they test out rosters, they go, hey, does this feel good? Do we feel confident in this? And then they lock. So again, there's always going to be that biased opinion, that a biased mindset of like, what I'm seeing, how our results are going, how we're performing is under a microscope. It is very, very specific to that time and in that moment. And there's other factors. We have good days, we have bad days. We have really, really good days, and we have some days that we go, hey man, we're just going to goldfish brain this and move on. It's an off day. People aren't playing the way that they're supposed to. It happens. We're human. So Overall, I would say, yeah, we're pretty dang confident. It's interesting seeing the community's rankings of where they think we'll land compared to others. Top 8 is heavily underrating us. I think we are, in my personal opinion, obviously it's going to come off as bias, we should be in your top 3 and we're not 3. That's my opinion. That's how I would approach it. Are you keeping up with any other NA roster changes? Do you know who may be the underdogs or problematic at competition LCQs? Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going through tryouts, anytime you're going through trying to find your team, you're seeing what other teams are doing at the same time because that's who you're scrimming. Even more so because when people are at the major teams want to scrim major teams. Very thankful and shout outs to all of the other coaches and managers from all the major teams that were kind enough to say, hey, we would like a warm up. Can you guys warm us up? That's an opportunity that we don't take for granted, and we're very thankful. It's so beneficial for us to scrim literally the best teams in the world when we're trying to figure out who our third is. It really, really exploits things that allows us to take a step further, which is really awesome. So massive thank you if those guys haven't heard from me directly, and even if they watch these videos. I can't thank all those teams enough for allowing us to boot camp and warm up against the teams that are at the major. It helps us immensely. But because those teams are also only playing other major teams, that means we're playing all the other teams that are trying to figure out what the heck is the Wild Wild West. Like, NA is in chaos right now. It is all over the place. We got teams from EU that won't make it back because of schooling stuff. It is a true melting pot of what the heck is going to stick. There's a couple that may surprise you guys. Whether they're going to be successful or not, we'll see on the day. Again, qualifiers and playing on the day is very different than scrims. So while we may be familiar with what they look like in scrims, how are they going to play in competition when there's pressure on? Some teams play very loose, but then they regress. Some teams play very safe and then play chaotic because they got nothing to lose. Something you got to be prepared for. How do you feel about replacing Evoh with 5-Up? Let me say this very directly. While we have 2/3 of tech, this is not tech at all. This is a new team, a new situation, new formation of players. While there is familiarity between two of those players, this is not tech. Yes, we're going to take on, I think, the points of what tech reserved and got in first split. You are talking a player who was on a team 3 or 4 months ago, took a break, came back, and at the same time, you had a player who was still playing with another team that whole time with Pobe, and then another player who played with SimTalk +1. It is no translation from one to the other. It is not a continuation. This is a new chapter. Starting chapter 1, this is a totally different situation. You got a new coach, you've got a new mentality, you've got a different approach to how we're doing things. It is different. So to say like, hey, on paper, 2 players, get rid of that one, bring in this one. We're talking 4 or 5 months of time. Both players have played on different teams. One didn't play at all for his own reasons. That totally justifiable. But like, yeah, it's different. So that being said, I can rave about 5-Up all day. Great kid, goofy as heck. I'm loving seeing his personality come out. He's so talented. He picks up information like nobody's business. The dude adjusts like crazy. Like, it is so difficult to be like, hey man, this thing you've been doing for 6 years of playing Rocket League is wrong. We need to make sure we adjust that overnight. It's insane. These kids absorb information and adjust like it's nobody's business. It's to be young again, dude. It's absolutely crazy. And the last question that I have, unless chat has more for me, any stream we can follow prior to when things are broadcasted? I mean, obviously watch and stream here. I will try to inform as much as I can without leaking anything. Whether it be on this stream or on my YouTube where you guys are going to see this video posted. As for LCQ run, I will not be streaming it. I'm going to 100% commit to the guys. I'm not going to do that on them. Maybe I'll find a community member who wants to stream it and showcase the run. Whether that happens on my Twitch channel or others, I don't know. We all stream, we all do our thing. Maybe I'll reach out to like Taco and Bast or something and have them go psycho mode on it or something. I don't know. There's no conversations. That's the last thing on my mind, if I'm being honest. But yeah, we'll think of something so you guys can actually watch the run and support it. But realistically, if we're conceding or losing any matches in the early rounds before top 32, like what the heck are we doing? We shouldn't be conceding any matches in top 32 either, but that's just me being confident and believing in the team. So That is what I have. Those are all the questions from you guys, as well as ones from chat. If you do have any additional ones, I'm happy to answer. Stop by the stream. But yeah, really cool opportunity. Really thankful for the guys. I greatly appreciate Calm, 5up, and Talk for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to not only earn the spot, but then also picking me to go and run for it. So who knows where it'll go? Who knows where it'll lead? I can tell you guys, there is a Canadian LAN at Canadian Expo or whatever the heck it's called at the end of August. Qualifiers are Saturday, so when I post this video on Monday, it'll be 2 days previously, so you'll know if we've qualified for that or not. We just have to get top 2 in the qual. The rules, though, is that because it is a Canadian LAN, they do want 2/3 Canadians, which we don't have. So it'll be Talk, Calm, and Sosa is going to be the team. Talk and Calm have the most familiarity together because they did play together previously, so it just made sense. So we'll be doing that Saturday, and Sosa will be coming in and filling out the second Canadian. So it should be a lot of fun. Really good vibes. All the dudes are cool. Sosa and I have talked quite a bit way back. A lot of respect. It's crazy to see him and Calm, ironically, their first LAN experience when they were both 15, 16 was in Canada. So a little bit of a throwback. Pretty cool. Either way, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Stop by the stream. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.